Hey everybody, my name is Paul Eston Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Now, I'm just going to say it right off the top because the camera quality and the mic quality is not going to be what it normally is here for these live streams. And I apologize for that right off the top. But as I'll try to show you real quick, I'll try to flip the camera around if I can. We've got a robot leg, everybody. Blown out ACL, ruptured ACL. This knee brace goes all the way from my hip to my ankle. So we're going to be trying to try some new things in terms of the live streaming. We'll try to figure out some other options for things to improve. Like I said, the camera quality and mic quality. So we'll be working on some of those moving forward. But despite having surgery earlier today, some massive surgery and being drugged up and taken out and everything, we had to jump on because there's so much great Jet news to talk about. So I'm hoping we can all do that on today's show. Again, we're streaming live simultaneously in 3 different places. Heavy on Jets Facebook page, youtube.com /boygreen25, and of course on the Twitter account at boygreen_25. But I will also share that real quickly, everybody. That is now on my Twitter account as well with the retweet and everything. Guys, this is a show by the people for the people. So throw some questions down below if you'd like, and we'll get to them on today's show. We'll talk about some of the new signings, Al Woods, Randall Cobb. We're going to get into all that fun stuff. And before we go any further, like the video, hit subscribe down below for more fantastic content. All right, well, here we go. Let's bring some people in real quick. JC Jet fan, bro, you just had surgery. Take a break. You're the man. Yeah, I'm going to be sleeping out here on the couch. The legs elevated. Get a complete ACL blowout. I've got crutches. I got a robot leg, but we're figuring it out, baby. And it's too exciting, man. We got to, again, I got to make sure I attack the physical therapy, the rehab, so we could get ready for Jet season, but we'll be making it happen. We got Wavy here. You're the man, Boy Green. Happy recovery, brother. Thank you. I will tell you, it is incredibly painful. And also balancing this makeshift tabletop on my surgically repaired leg is also weird, but, and painful. But nonetheless, we will power through and figure it out. Let's go through a couple of things here. First off, I think the first one, again, I had surgery today, so I may be a little shady on some of the details, but let's go through a few of them. Al Woods joining the Jets. I'm going to be honest right off the top. Love this move. It's fantastic. Exactly what the Jets were missing. When you look at this Jets defensive line, you have Quentin Williams as a stud, and he's going to get paid this offseason. You bring in Quentin Jefferson. He's coming off a 5.5 sack season. That's career high for the young man out of Seattle. So I love the pass rush juice. Love some of the options the Jets are going to have from a coaching staff perspective. But they were missing a hog molly, some Brutus beefcake up front that could stop the run. They've got a lot of different guys. You look at some of the edge players that can play inside. John Franklin Myers, of course. Michael Clemens comes to mind. And then there's the array of pass rushers. Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson, Bryce Huff, and the like, those kind of guys. But when you go to the interior, there are some flexible guys that can kind of bounce in and out, but you didn't really have that big, nasty space eater. And that's exactly what Al Woods brings to the table. So he's an older player, 36 years of age, but incredibly effective. So that's exactly what the Jets needed on the defensive line, and they get it. So love the Al Woods signing. Also throw it out to Randall Cobb. The Jets get Randall Cobb. Now, I need to say this because I saw this on Twitter. So let's throw this up on the screen because this is super annoying. So everyone is apparently giving the Jets a lot of crap for signing Randall Cobb. And I just wanted to throw this up on the screen that what are we talking about here, guys? Like, people hate the Jets and they don't want them to be relevant. So the Jets signed Randall Cobb. Here's Mike Tanier, who was a Football Outsiders. He just left their company. So it's at New York Times, right? Because here's his quote, because bending over backwards to please a newly acquired superstar quarterback is a proven route to success. Obviously being sarcastic. Guys, why are we making this such a big deal? Okay, let's make this clear. Randall Cobb's replacing Jeff Smith as wide receiver 5. Why are people getting their panties in a twist over the Jets signing Randall Cobb? What's the big deal, man? So by the way, first off, I think too many people are like complaining, oh, look at the Jets trying to make the Green Bay Jets, the New York Packers, and all these jokes and stuff. And again, I just go to say, what are we talking about? Again, it's replacing Jeff Smith. And by the way, real quick, if Randall Cobb, he's just mere presence on the roster as wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6, like makes Aaron Rodgers a little happier, God bless, have it. Fine, sure. I don't care. It's inconsequential, if we're being honest. I'm not trying to disrespect Randall Cobb. Like, he's a fine player and provides you some depth as a system guy that should help, but we're really wasting Twitter time, space, and everything else complaining about wide receiver 5 on the Jets roster. Other teams saying, look at the Jets. Come on, man. Come on. I mean, for Pete's sake, it's just a little much. And number two, I think it was really stated quite well by Nathaniel Hackett. He talked about this on the Jets Overtime show, is having these system guys there helps the coaching on and off the field. Okay. Al Lazard being in here, despite the $44 million they gave him, it's really a 2-year deal for $22 million, but still that having on the field is so Hackett can coach him, like he normally coaches him, but also, Lazard, when he's hanging out with them, they can ask him route concepts and all kinds of questions. The same thing for Cobb. So having these kind of, and I've used this Game of Thrones reference in the past, red priestesses that could spread the gospel of the coaching staff to kind of help people go along now. So again, I think it's all good. Cobb, I fully expected to be a part of the Jets at some point, and he ends up being it. So to me, pass the biscuits, but it's good. Like I said, to bring a player with his, again, he's a versatile guy. I like that a lot. He had a bad injury last year, but he came back. So I like Cobb a lot, and obviously Aaron Rodgers does. So that one's good. Al Woods, great. That's exactly what the Jets needed. And we'll certainly do some progressing forward here because I definitely want to look at what else the Jets can accomplish. So let me go through some more comments here. Dakota J, he said this before the stream went live, but I keep saying this. Our defense went from 32nd in all three phrases to number 4 last season. Adding players to our defense like Chuck Clark, Quentin Jefferson, Will McDonald, Al Woods, plus more. Yeah, the Chuck Clark edition. Again, you got him for a bag of Doritos. The Ravens, for some reason, hated Chuck Clark. They kept trying to replace him. Marcus Williams, they give a bag of money to. Kyle Hamilton, they draft early. Chuck Clark, man, he's played 1,000 consecutive snaps over the last 3 years. Give me that guy. Leadership and just an effective dude. Is he a superstar? Is he among the best safeties in all football? No, but he's just rock solid. Again, Quentin Jefferson, I like the juice. I love when he can have a couple of different pass rushing packages up front, that NASCAR package. I love that. So Quentin Jefferson can certainly provide some action there. And again, if you think about it in theory, and that will also go into the Will McDonald part, is that if the Jets have Aaron Rodgers, which they do, you're going to be playing in theory with more leads. More leads means more pass rush opportunities. Booyah. And you can bring all that together, which obviously helps Will McDonald to have some great analytics, 30-plus career sacks in college. And then the Al Woods, again, is that run defense. Because if there was a criticism to be had, taking that off the screen real quick to go to Jay, if there was a criticism to be had about the Jets defense heading into 2023 as currently constructed a few days ago, you're like, man, if a team just says, we're going to run the football down the Jets' throat, they don't have a great plan right now. Prior to the Al Woods signing, you just didn't really have a great plan. But now that he's here, you've got some options. Again, you do have some of the guys get floating between Michael Clemens, JFM, but now they don't have to be permanent changes. You can keep that versatility and that adaptability, quite frankly, to teams that you're playing. So I really love that. So again, naturally, normally, when you have that kind of seismic jump, again, the Jets were one of the worst defenses in football. They jumped to top 5. Naturally, there's normally a level of regression because, 32-4 was an unrealistic expectation. It was amazing. It was impressive, but naturally, there should be some level of drop-off. However, with all the names you just mentioned coming in, perhaps they can maintain and sustain. If they stay a top 10 defense, still imagine the obvious seismic upgrade at quarterback, a meteoric rise with Aaron Rodgers, and if the defense is just okay, like it doesn't drop off a cliff, then you're in a great position. You're in a really great position. Dakota J, we're coming for first place this season. No more fourth. Yeah, the Jets have not won the AFC East since 2002. And to me, they're firmly in the conversation. New England sucks. They're last. See ya. Peace. Deuces. Okay. Hasta luego. Dolphins, obviously, I got to give a lot of credit to Tua. He looked even better than I could have possibly expected last year when healthy. So a major tip of the cap. But to be honest, can he stay healthy? I will tell you, I've mentioned this on a few other streams, although my leg exploded because of the Taekwondo stuff. There is absolutely an art to learning to fall properly. And he talked about it in the jiu-jitsu world. In Taekwondo, we're trained to slap our hands down to kind of spread the pressure, spread the weight from that perspective. So that's a legitimate thing, but can he stay healthy? That's going to be another big question from that perspective, Dakota J. But they got to pass. So again, New England, garbage. Dolphins, they're in the conversation if two could stay healthy. And obviously, Buffalo's there too. And maybe if you want to say, hey, Buffalo, you get the crown, you were there, you're the champ until beaten, perhaps. But losing Tremaine Edmonds was such a big loss for this Buffalo Bills team. Not enough people are talking about that here. We will be having a special guest. I will introduce him here in a minute, a surprise guest here on the stream. Just answer a few more questions here, then we'll get right into that. Yeah, look at all the weapons, baby. Dakota J, 6 receivers, 4 tight ends, 4 backs. Yes, I'm liking it all. Ooh, I like you could be the Jetpack or the Jackers. I don't know about the Jackers, but that one's a little weird. But Jetpack, certainly. Quan and free safety next. Yes, I would love to see Quan. Quan sent a weird message out on social media today saying, hey, the Jets have my number, as if, like, hey, I would be there if it was up to me, but it's up to the Jets. So he threw the ball in their court. We'll see. Again, there's been some conversations there from that perspective. Apparently not progressive enough. I'd love him to be the third linebacker. Good guy as well. Off the field. The New Bay Jackets. Okay, that's okay. We are really good. Jordy Nelson next, sure. Mercedes Lewis, Donald Driver. Yeah, who else can we dig up? Who the hell else can we dig up? Let's look at them. Boy Green, how things and get piped for the season. Yeah, I'm lit, man. We just got to get this leg right, and hopefully we're there for a couple of games this year. I'd love that. Yep, there's the Donald Driver jokes. Very nice. Yes, that is a joke, people. Donald Driver's not literally coming out of retirement. He is ancient. Glad to hear surgery went well. Thank you very much, Jigaman Porto. Very nice. Yeah, it's painful as hell. I'm not going to lie. Also, I'm balancing like this makeshift whatever. My fiance got this for me for my birthday. It's like a office table that you can bring along with you. That is balancing on my surgically repaired leg. So probably not ideal. But again, we're going to kind of figure all this out as we continue to go. So we will figure it out. Speedy recovery. Thank you. I'm sure you prehabbed and slept in a hyperbolic chamber like Brees Hall did. Yes. Have you seen my budget? Have you seen my mansion? Obviously I did. All right, and I'll get into, there's a lot more questions. We'll get into more of those in just a minute, but let's bring in my special guest. He's never been on the show before in history, but it just feels like the right kind of guy to bring in the room. So let's do it. Green Bay Packers fan and a intern on my radio show, although I think he just completed his final day today while I was doing surgery. But nonetheless, let's bring him in. That is Luke Rosenthal joining
How's it
us.
going? How's it going? Good to be here.
Time on the show. We just had to do this, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you texted me because some big Packer legends coming to the Jets now this entire offseason, really.
100%, which, by the way, we've heard the New York Packers jokes, the Green Bay Jets.
I was told by one of my buddies that's a Jets fan that it should be the New York Packers instead of the Green Bay Jets. I've heard the same thing on Twitter too. So I don't know which name we're going to roll with, but it's got to be one of them. Got to pick and choose.
100%. So we'll have to dig in on that. I just saw we got a YouTube super chat, which, by the way, real quick, everybody, couple of quick plugs. Like the video, hit subscribe down below. We're on the chase to 5,000 subs, which has been amazing. It's been a great shout out by the fans. But you guys, if you'd like, that's a free way to contribute is, again, liking the video, hitting subscribe. But you can also jump in on the YouTube super chat. You get this cool, juicy color. Thank you. Just hear me out. Appreciate the support late night here on a Wednesday. What's up, Boy Green? It's J-Viz again, dropping in. I'm changing my stance on hating Aaron and honor rooting for the Jets, and I can't get enough of Seattle pissing on everything Denver in sports. Wow, that is some powerful comments here, J-Viz. I will tell you this, that I appreciate the hating of Aaron Rodgers. It's pivotal. It's kind of different for different people. I just brought up that tweet from Mike Tanier, who was formerly a Football Outsiders. There's a couple other people that do some similar stuff too, but again, people are going to hate the Jets, and it's fine. I'm fully embracing it. The Jets haven't been to the playoffs in 12 years, so I'm willing to embrace it all and enjoy it all. But let me ask you, Luke, as a guy who had Aaron Rodgers, did people hate Green Bay? Because I know you tried to dub them recently, America's team. You know, the real America's team. Did the Packers get a lot of hate for having Aaron Rodgers on the squad?
I think they got hate because they got Aaron Rodgers immediately after having Brett Favre for so long.
Come on.
That's probably the reason. And now that Jordan Love is on this huge trajectory now where he's going to be, MVP, Hall of Fame candidate, and then a future New York Jet, of course, maybe people will be hating on them for the future, foreseeable future, that is.
Let me ask you real quick because I think a lot of different interpretations. So,
Sure.
Jordan Love, the option was coming up. We already know that
Mhm.
the Packers did something different. But before we get to that, Brian Gutekunst was asked about Jordan Love and the fifth-year option. He's like, well, that's a lot of money for, and I'm paraphrasing here, a lot of money for a guy that we haven't really seen a lot out of. And again, it just led me to say audibly out loud at our radio station during a commercial break, then why the hell did you trade Aaron Rodgers if you're not so sure about this Jordan Love guy? Seemed a little weird. Now, we all know what ultimately happened. It seemed like basically they either declined / replaced the fifth-year option with a mini one-year extension that was somewhere in between. But I'm going to be honest, that comment threw me off because I thought the Packers were all in on Jordan Love, as they should be. Obviously, they draft him in the first round if they have high hopes for him. But that was kind of a weird comment from old Goody.
Yeah, a lot of questionable comments coming from the higher ups in the Packers organization throughout the last couple of years, huh? I like the deal. I thought it was very creative. We haven't really seen anything like that because that's really in place of that fifth-year option. And to be honest, he's right about it because Jordan Love, we've only seen him start one game, and that was 2 years ago in absence of Aaron Rodgers because he had COVID, and it really wasn't a great game. But in flashes this year, he looked pretty good, looked pretty solid, looked like they could have confidence in him moving forward. And it's a win-win, I think, really for both sides. I mean, Green Bay, you're not giving up as much guaranteed money. I think it's around like 13 mil or 13.5 mil guaranteed right now with this sort of fifth-year option. And for Jordan Love, if he balls out, if he hits all of his incentives, he's going to make more money than what would have been guaranteed in that fifth-year option.
Yeah, I just the numbers, I'm sure better than me, but the only thing I push back on it's a win for Green Bay,
Yeah.
sort of, because less absolute guaranteed dollars. For people who don't know, in 2018 the NFL CBA changed the fifth-year option rules. Before it was just injury guaranteed. Now it's fully guaranteed, and plus basically the fourth year, because this decision's made after 3 seasons, then heading into your fourth year, that number's guaranteed, and then your fifth-year number's guaranteed. So I don't know, man. Like, I get it. It makes sense for Green Bay to get a bit of a discount, kind of protect themselves a little bit. But if I'm Jordan Love, I look like such a puss, man. I look like such an absolute wuss for because okay, here it is. The Packers traded Aaron Rodgers before making this decision. So if I'm Jordan Love, I'm the Packers' only option now. So like, if you want to be questionable and picking up the option, that's on you, and you can die in the court of public opinion. How embarrassing would that have looked for Green Bay to trade Aaron Rodgers, then decline the fifth-year option for Jordan Love? They look dumb. They look real dumb. So the thing I don't understand is, if I'm Jordan Love, I'm like, nah. The contract is what the contract. You either accept it or decline it. If you decline it, fine. I'm going to ball out, and then you're either going to franchise tag my ass, which is a lot more than the incentives he could have made, or I'm going to reach unrestricted free agency. Like, it didn't
I could
make
understand
any
that
sense
side.
for me that Jordan Love would do that.
I can understand that side, but if you are Jordan Love, how can you really be a stickler knowing that you've only started one game, and with all the controversy around, Aaron Rodgers and his departure from the Green Bay Packers and what happened over the last year, how can you really be a stickler about that? But I could definitely understand that from that perspective.
Again, it just seems a little odd, but again, we'll see what ultimately Jordan Love is here from that perspective. But let's get your thoughts on this. So the Jets signed Randall Cobb. It's the latest Packers guy to join. We'll ask about a couple other guys coming in, and I'm just curious. What do you make of Randall Cobb? What was the relationship like with Aaron Rodgers? What does he have left in the tank? What does he bring to the table?
So Randall Cobb is easily he might just be Aaron Rodgers' best friend. You look at some of those guys and relationships that he's built. You think David Bakhtiari, Jordy Nelson in the wide receiver room, and Devontae Adams. He's right up there with those guys in terms of relationships built with Rodgers. I mean, he's been his quarterback for his entire career, other than those 2 seasons in Houston and Dallas. At this point in his career, Randall Cobb, like, what can he really do for you offensively? He's not going to be asked to do a whole.
I think we just lost you there, Luke. So I'll drop you out here. Regather yourself. You may have to I'm going to kick you out. You can come right back in. We lost you there. But for me, Randall Cobb, and this is why I don't think, to be honest, it's that crazy. He's being wide receiver 5. He's not replacing Corey Davis. He's not replacing, insert guy like like it's not like the Jets go, oh, we want OBJ, psych, we're just going to get Randall Cobb. Like that's not how it's interpreted. Like he's replacing Jeff Smith. He's a system guy. He's basically, and I don't mean this in a rude way, and the contract actually is a lot different, but he's like the Tim Boyle of wide receivers. Okay. He's like the Tim Boyle of wide receivers because he's coming in to teach some of the guys and help them out, but there's like no real guarantee. In his particular case with the contractual structure, it's pretty much a guarantee he's going to be one of those bottom receivers. But Tim Boyle got 75,000 guaranteed. He ain't going to be, he's not guaranteed Jack Diddley, but he'll be great as a system guy to have in the room. I believe we have Luke back, so let me throw him back up there.
Oh, we're back. Look at that.
Yeah, go ahead. So so what do you believe he could contribute at this stage of his career?
I don't think it's a whole lot, but I also don't think he's going to be asked to do a whole lot. Maybe be one of those mentors. I really just think that he's brought in because Rodgers has said a few times now that he wants to end his career with a guy like Randall Cobb. And I think that's exactly what's going to end up happening is he's going to end his career with Randall Cobb, whether that's Cobb retiring, before Rodgers or Rodgers retiring before Cobb, what have you. But I don't know how much he's going to contribute to this offense. I mean, you look at what he did in Green Bay last year, only 34 receptions, 417 yards, and 1 touchdown. He was brought, if you remember, he was brought back to Green Bay off of a demand for Aaron Rodgers, who said he wasn't coming back to the Packers unless you went out and got a guy like Cobb, and they ended up trading like a 4th or 5th round pick for him.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. But Randall Cobb's always been that guy for Rodgers. He's had some amazing plays, amazing memories. You think back to all the times Rodgers connected with Cobb to kill the Chicago Bears back in 2013 for the division.
Sure.
In 2018, that big comeback in the 4th quarter after Rodgers goes down. So I think more than anything, he's not going to be an entirely, huge focal point of this offense. But in terms of the relationship that he has with Rodgers, he's one of those guys that you want to bring in, and that's what the Jets have been doing, bringing guys like Tim Boyle and Allen Lazard and some of the Billy Turner now as well, where they have passed with Rodgers. So
I'm going to be honest. I just feel old because I'm a big fan of the draft. And, of course, I just turned 30 last week. But I remember Randall Cobb when he was drafted at Kentucky, like a 5th-round pick for Green Bay. Loved the pick for him. He's versatile guy, contributed, can return game also as a receiver, brought a lot to the table. So it's interesting. And by the way, he's only, 32 years of age? And let me see. So 1990, what was he? August 22nd. So he will be 33 before the start of the 2023 season. But interesting, again, I still think it's a very interesting grab there. Yeah, let's go to Tim Boyle. Does Tim Boyle suck?
I don't know if Tim Boyle's ever actually had a snap other than just a kneel down for the Packers in a live.
Yeah, I'll have to double check on Packers. I know he had 3 starts in his career. I think that may have been either Packers or Lions. And during those, he went 0 for 3. Yeah, let me double check. Make sure we have the Packers numbers here. Again, he's got intriguing size, 6'4", 233 pounds. He appeared in 11 games across 2 years for the Green Bay Packers. He threw for 15 yards. That was his career. But again, he did get 3 starts with Detroit in 2021. 0 for 3 and had twice as many interceptions as touchdowns. So again, to me, he just kind of felt like, and I think the contract, the devil is always in the details. That's how I look at it. When Tim Boyle was signed, you won't believe this. Jets fans said, "Oh boy, Zach Wilson, see ya." And I'm like, "Excuse me, Tim Boyle friggin' sucks, man." If all of a sudden the Jets go from, well, Zach Wilson through hell or high water, just kidding, Tim Boyle's the guy. Like, no offense, but like offense, like Tim Boyle stinks. So like all those Jet fans are dumb as hell that said Tim Boyle was replacing Zach Wilson. The devil's in the details. 75,000 guaranteed. I mean, that is great for me or you, but that's chump change. So, like, I just think Tim Boyle is absolute garbage, but good for the system,
Yeah, another one of those guys where you want him in the quarterback room with Rodgers so he could be, feel a little bit more at home because you remember this guy's close to turning 40. He's never had, a change in his career, I guess, location. He's been Green Bay or nothing for the past 18 or so years. So, one of those guys you want in the quarterback room and sort of familiar with the offense that they're running in New York with their new offensive coordinator. I can't remember his name. It's forgetting. What's the offensive coordinator's name that you just brought in? That was with Green Bay. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Nathaniel Hackett.
Nathaniel Hackett. There you go. Yeah. Great, brilliant head coach for the Denver Broncos. Yeah, so he has a little bit, of knowledge about that the offense that they're running in New York now. Not saying that it's going to be the same that they ran in Green Bay, just because personnel is different and receivers are different, obviously. So, yeah, it's just one of those relationship guys that you want to bring in, quarterback room, help him be more acclimated to his new environment.
Does it hurt, Luke, seeing the pictures of Aaron Rodgers in the number 8 Jets jersey? It's just practice, throwing passes, appearing on Pat McAfee this week, saying how re-energized he is, fired up, smiling like a giddy schoolgirl
A little
on his
bit.
first day. Like, does it sting?
A
Be
little
honest
bit.
with me.
It stings more that he's actually practicing ahead of the season with the Jets. We're 4 months out of the season, and he's already, getting acclimated with Garrett Wilson in practice and doing all that. So, and that's something he hasn't done in Green Bay in a long time, and I wish he would have, so he could get, build some more chemistry with his rookie receivers. And I'm glad to see that he's doing that now, because it's absolutely needed, being in a new spot and all. Yeah, a little weird for sure, but it was definitely his time coming down to an end in Green Bay with just everything. The writing was on the wall as soon as they made that draft pick, as soon as they traded up for Jordan Love in 2020. It was a ticking time bomb that unfortunately or fortunately for some Packers fans, definitely came up this offseason.
100%. But it is, see, inside joke. People don't know what that means. But I will just say that, it pleases me greatly because there's a lot of salty Packers fans out there, Luke Rosenthal, salty Packers fans, Packers media that are just trashing this. They believe Aaron Rodgers is going to be a disaster in New York, apparently. And some of the things I've seen are like this is a second or third rate offense compared to what Aaron Rodgers has had in his past. I believe Peter Bukowski. Why not? Why not? Let's throw this one on the screen. This was funny, for lack of a better word.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't want to misquote Peter Bukowski, the co-founder of the Leap. He actually joined us earlier this off season.
Yeah.
And let's see, where is this? I saw the quote today here from Peter Bukowski. We'll see if I can find it quickly here. But he was just kind of dunking on the New York Jets. And oh, here it is. Oh, beautiful. Come on. Let's throw this up on the screen, everybody, so you guys can all see this. Here is Peter Bukowski, Green Bay Packers guy. Not sure if you saw this, Luke. Grab my reading glasses here. Congratulations to the Jets for successfully building an inferior version of the 2019, 2020, and 2021 Green Bay Packers skill group with a much worse offensive line, and that includes a 2019 to 2021 Packers unit on it. And, it didn't take long for old Peter Bukowski with the 113 quote tweets and hundreds of comments to hear it from Jet fans. Like, man, there is a lot of hate for this pairing and what they believe it's going to be. It feels like saltiness from the thing you just said there, quite frankly, Luke, that people saying that, like, Aaron Rodgers being at these voluntary workouts when he wasn't doing that with the Packers, they just seem pissed and a little salty,
Maybe a little bit. I will say Peter Bukowski, not my favorite Packers Twitter guy. No. I feel like that's universal amongst Packer fans on Twitter.
Oh, so Packers fans hate him too.
Okay. I wouldn't say hate, but definitely low on the like scale there amongst the rest of Packer Twitter guys. Yeah, it's fun to joke that they are the Green Bay Jets or the New York Packers. But you look at the past 3, I guess, Packer seasons, and I've said this countless times on my social media, where how do you think this Packers team can win if the roster isn't as good as 2020 or 2021? And I was saying that last year, and that's why I thought it was time to trade Rodgers last season after they lost to the 49ers.
Probably should have. Would have gotten a better package.
Exactly. You look at what Russell Wilson got, and you look at what Matt Stafford got. I thought it was time then, but I can't say the same about the New York Jets, because this roster, this is a defense that quite simply the Packers have never had. It's in Rodgers' time there. And the Packers have had good defenses before, but they've come very few and far between. I mean, the 2010 Super Bowl defense was solid. You look at 2019, what was really good for them too. They were pretty much carried by their defense, to be quite honest, in the first year of that LaFleur offense. But I can't say the same. This Jets roster is completely different. You look at the offensive line, defensive line, the receiver room, which is way more talented than the Packers have had, the past season or two. I think this Jets squad is solid. Now, I'm not going to say they should be Super Bowl favorites or anything, because the AFC is absolutely loaded. And just from what I've seen for Rodgers on his playoff runs the past few years, has not rose to the occasion like he has previously throughout the 2010s. So I would say, I'm looking at the Jets, I'm saying that's by far an 11-win team minimum. And that's pretty much what I think. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just ask you, I know that we're projecting a little bit early here. Who do you want the Packers to select with the 32nd overall pick after the Jets win the Super Bowl?
Hopefully a receiver. Maybe. Every year I always make myself believe that it's going to be the time that they pick a receiver. And I really thought this year specifically, just to stick it to Aaron Rodgers. I thought it was because, I saw reports that it would be such a Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst thing to do, to take a receiver the year after Rodgers is gone. They didn't quite do it. They went the Packer way. No. Classic Green Bay, trying to find guys in later rounds, but would have been quite funny.
Oh, it would have been hilarious. Even from a Jets fan perspective, again, because for those who don't know, again, I'm a history buff, so I really like statistics and analytics and stuff. The Packers, let me ask you, trivia time. Maybe you'll know this, Luke.
Sure.
When's the last time the Packers selected a receiver in the first round?
It was Javon Walker. I can't remember what year it was.
2002 is the number, by the way. The Packers drafted Rodgers in 2005.
Yep.
So obviously, they never hooked a brother up, so to speak, in the first round during his entire tenure. By the way, 2002, the last time the Jets won the division, and they did it with Nathaniel Hackett's father, Paul Hackett. So again, there's all this kind of connective tissue here with the New York Jets for all of that. So that one to me is quite interesting. Another super chat in here. Luke, we'll have you on here for a few minutes talking all kinds of things here. So Jay Perez, again, guys, thank you so much for the super chats. This is amazing. Again, I apologize for my audio and computer. I don't have my mic. I'm camped. Again, I'll show it again. I'm camped out on the recliner here. This is where I'm sleeping. And no, I didn't get in trouble with my fiance, although that could have been possible as well. I'm just going to show you a peek. Let me take this comment off real quick.
Show us
and here's the peek. I've got this nice thing got from a birthday, a nice little desk thing. But you can see the robotic leg. Now this thing, as you can see, goes from the ankle all the way up to my hip. So I mean, and I got crutches over here too. So long story short, I had reconstructive ACL surgery earlier today. It was intense, painful, quite. Woke up and I was like, holy crap, give me the oxy or whatever God knows you guys have. So very, very painful. But hey, we got to suck it up and get through it. But, after a while, I'm like, that pain sucks. But hey, why not do a live stream? Why not jump right back into the deep end? And a little sneak peek, I will be joining the Man Shot Joe Boy Green tomorrow. It's a surprise.
Oh, look at that.
Not the whole show. Again, I got to kind of work my rehab and all that kind of stuff. So we'll keep an eye out for that one. But yes, I'll be on for the Survivor interview tomorrow for all our Survivor people. How could I not, jump on for the Survivor action? So just want to give that quick setup. But yeah, the leg is robotic. I got crutches and all kinds of crap here. So, but we had to come on, and I'm glad, Luke, that you jumped on here as well. And Luke, you're going to have to plug your social media portals in a little bit. So you see, I do it. You look at this extra little title here, New York Jets digital reporter for heavy #branding, baby. So you'll have to give some love for that here momentarily. But let me jump into the YouTube super chat here. Jay Perez, again, thank you guys so much. That's awesome. And feel free to do so. That option's available on YouTube. I try to answer all your questions and comments, but when you do this, you guarantee it. You Joe Namath guarantee your ass that I'm answering this on the show. That's for damn sure. Helps keeps the lights on. So Jay Perez, hey boy, Green 25. Thanks for all. I would say, let's see what this roster looks like. I'm concerned our first round pick will take reps from JJ. It's an interesting comment, Jay, and of course he's referencing Jermaine Johnson. Some of a player the Packers fans were trying to steal in trade negotiations.
Yeah,
crazy
I saw a lot of mocks.
Yeah. Dumbass mocks. We ain't giving up Jermaine Johnson, you freaks. But no, I don't have that same fear. Again, there is going to be a rotation. Will McDonald actually did get a little reps inside at Iowa State. We were talking about the 4-eye getting into football vernacular with where he's going to line up. He's going to be an outside edge guy, so we won't be seeing him on the interior. His weight couldn't hold up possibly on the inside. Anyway, Iowa State, crazy bastards putting him there. But I think there's just going to be a heavy rotation. To be honest, I think everyone's going to get their reps. Jermaine's going to get an increase naturally in his numbers. Will McDonald is going to be, and again, this wave action is going to be the thought. And the extra thought, of course, is if you have Aaron Rodgers, you're playing more lead, so you can kind of, let your pass rushers pin their ears behind their head and kind of get crazy here. So I get the concern. And by the way, thanks for the question, but I'm not concerned with JJ. Let's get to the middle of the season. They're doing dumbass shit like Bryce Huff was inactive for like the first 3 games of the season. They were trying to outthink themselves, be too cute. And then we could talk, but I don't have the same fears. I think Double J in the morning is going to get plenty of love from that perspective. Yes, the Bionic Man show. Yes. They're taking names potentially. Yeah, I normally don't cuss on the show, but when it's Boy Green After Dark, we're getting close to midnight. I could get a little loosey. It's probably the morphine. That's probably honest, to be honest with you.
Might be.
It could be some of that, and also I've got my intern Luke here, so he doesn't see me swear all the time. I'm all professional, tie and all that jazz, so it makes a lot of sense. Let me ask you about the other Packers free agent. Make sure we get this in as well. Billy Turner. Mm-hmm. So he's a guy that has connective tissue, both to the Packers, of course. He spent a few years there. Also with Hackett himself, he played on Hackett's Broncos last year. I'm sure we'd all like to forget that, but he was playing for that team. Billy Turner, interesting player, ton of experience, interesting guy, more depth. What can you say about Billy Turner? I heard a lot of Packers fans dunking on him, saying he sucks.
Well, when they first signed him in the 2019 offseason, I thought it was complete overpay. I don't have the exact numbers that he got, but from a guy that I hadn't heard of before, that from the Broncos, I couldn't believe that we gave him that much. It was a 3-year deal, and I thought that he actually played really well in spots. He was definitely a rotational guy for them. They played him at tackle at times. They played him at guard at times. I sort of fell off towards the end of 2021 there, but he's another guy, and the Jets can use all the depth in that offensive line room because I've had some injuries there the past few seasons or so. Just another guy, and like you said, the connection with Rodgers always helps, being that he is on a new team and wants to get more acclimated with everybody on the roster, and just having people familiar faces around helps out a ton.
100%. Yeah, I don't think it's anything crazy. I don't think we got to go bonkers. He's not getting paid as this lead starter. He's not going to be one outside of injuries, of course, which can always happen with the New York Jets. So I'm not really worried about it at all. And to me, more experience the better, especially with when you look at some of the analytic snap percentages. Has a ton of experience at right guard, right tackle. Right tackle is probably where its home will be, although he does have swing tackle versatility throughout his career. So the right tackle thing looks interesting as well. I want to ask about Allen Lazard. He's a guy that is also another polarizing guy in a lot of different respects. We did get some really cool insight. And guys, if you haven't checked that out already, Jared Stansberry of Cyclone Fanatic, really cool. He's covered the team for a long time. Jets all of a sudden have Iowa State love. Breece Hall, Allen Lazard, Will McDonald now. And he told some cool stories about Allen Lazard just being this, this ass kicker, a guy that was an undrafted free agent, went to Jacksonville, got rejected there, and the Packers said, yeah, we'll figure it out. He comes over there and he does pretty good work. So I'm just curious, your fan perspective on Allen Lazard, a guy that was dumped by Jacksonville as an undrafted free agent. Packers dust him off, and now he transforms that obviously into this year. He's a $44 million wide receiver.
Yeah, I'll always have love for Allen Lazard. I thought he was one of the most underrated players in the league the past few seasons. Never got a lot of love just because he's not a big name, doesn't put up a big stats, but that's because he does everything off the stat sheet. I mean, you want to talk about run blockers, you want to talk about just blocking in general. That's your guy, Allen Lazard. I mean, after all, they tried to putting him at tight end in Jacksonville, and it just didn't work out. The guy, for his frame at wide receiver, his explosiveness as well, really sort of an anomaly guy. If I'm to be honest, I can't really, think of too many wide receivers quite like him with his skill set. I don't think he's ever going to be, a 1,000-yard guy. Never going to put up crazy stats. He's never going to be a burner. But for what he does in the run game, especially, with this offense that the Jets are going to be running this season, with Nathaniel Hackett, he was a dog with Nathaniel Hackett in that offense for a while there. And you have a guy in Breece Hall, so sort of similar in ways to Aaron Jones in the way that and their what's the word I'm looking for, elusivity, I guess. Sort of getting outside of the tackles. You're going to want a big guy. Yeah. You're going to want a big guy at receiver like that, especially one that has, chemistry with Rodgers. And Rodgers has said that, he's he has a great relationship with him. He's another one of those guys you could throw in with Devontae Adams and Randall Cobb that he started to trust. I remember really didn't do much in his first few stints or his first few games with the Packers until they were down on a Monday Night Football game, 2019 versus the Detroit Lions, and he had the game-winning touchdown out of nowhere. Aaron Rodgers just said, "Okay, I'm just going to chuck it up to this guy, hope for the best," and that's sort of really where he gained his trust. And from there, he was really lights out for the next few seasons. I mean, he's not going to be a number one. They tried using him as a number one this season. It just didn't work out that way. But he is an absolute dog. I always have love for him. And I love his, he does juice reviews. He drinks a lot of juice on his TikTok and other social medias. Just review like random Jamba juices and weird, mixtures of different fruits and stuff. I love that too. Love that out of that guy. So Allen Lazard, great guy, dog.
Yeah, again, if we had the rights, I would show the clip, but don't want to be tackled by the guy in the FBI minivan outside my house as soon as I show that. But one of my favorite plays, I think it was the Christmas game, Packers-Dolphins, and Lazard blocked 3 guys in the run game. And I'm just like, man, again, you use the term dog. Like, it's funny because, and I also talked about this with Jared Stansberry, branding a couple days ago in that interview, and one of the things that we talked about is again that receivers are often divas. And by the way, I love receivers. So T.O., Ocho Cinco, all those crazy dudes, I freaking love. They make the NFL fun for me. I've loved those guys forever. But it's cool to see a classic old school lunch pail guy that, and sometimes people say this, but they don't do it in actuality, where a guy like Allen Lazard comes in and he's like, I don't give a flying hoot if I catch 1 pass or 20, or I'm blocking the crap out of guys. So he just takes such pride, such dignity in the run blocking game, which is really impressive to me. And again, he just seems like he's going to be a natural fit on this team, which I'm really excited about. I know a lot of people weren't crazy about the money, but that was just kind of the going rate. Juju Smith-Schuster got 11 mil per year. He got 11 mil per year. Jacoby Myers got 11 mil per year. That was kind of the magic number outside of OBJ's kind of crazy Baltimore Ravens contract. So I like the guy, and I think he's just going to be a great fit in New York. I'm really excited about him.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the money I think is right because you're getting an O-lineman and a receiver all in one.
There you go. Yes.
Because he makes incredible, crackdown blocks, and he is a really fun guy to root for, like you said. Really a diamond in the rough for the Packers that I'm glad that they found, and now the Jets will get to experience this as well, which I'm excited for.
Joseph with the super sticker, baby. And also you'll notice with that little logo, what the hell does that mean? He's a part of the Boy Green Super Fan Club, which is our YouTube membership. Okay. Flex on him, Joseph. Flex on him, Joey. Boom. Hit him with it. Hit him with it. I love it. Okay. So thanks for the support on the show, man. Late night here. And I will say, speaking of support, Luke Rosenthal, a great intern for my sports talk radio show in the morning, you have made history with your plug being TikTok here. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've had anyone come on this show, guest or not, and promote their TikTok, which, by the way, let's dive into the deep end of the pool. Throw up the Luke Rosenthal TikTok page here. 66,000 followers, 3.2 million likes. I mean, again, I feel, and I'm seeing some of these videos of the beard game. Very nice in some of these videos. You react and all kinds of stuff. We'll probably play a random one here at some point. But I just have to say, man, that wow, TikTok, flex on them. Okay, I feel like I'm a what's the word? What's the right word for this? Right? That I'm this old man. I just turned 30 last week, and I'm like tick. I feel like Bill Belichick, Snap Face, Blue Book, this book, and all of a sudden, look at you over here. 66,000 followers, over 3 million likes. Okay, Luke,
yeah, I try. I did struggle posting the past few months, really, since last season, just finishing up college and everything in between. But we will be making a comeback right after college, just in a few weeks here. Because there's a lot to talk about. I haven't really talked. I just do mainly live streams throughout the past few months on there. But yeah, it's super fun. It's something that I really have gotten into. Actually, what made me want to start, doing social media and stuff was that Jordan Love pick, because I was so upset in the moment of when they drafted him. I just needed to go on I went on a Packer fan's Instagram live. I really liked it. And then I just figured TikTok was the way to go, because I felt like it was really coming on at that time. Everybody's stuck in home in quarantine, and everybody's on their phone on TikTok. So yeah, that's kind of where I built myself up a little bit.
Okay, there he is. Luke gosh darn Rosenthal, baby. flexing on the TikTok. Amazing. I'm going to be honest. I think I'm on TikTok as Boy Green G5 because again, branding everybody, but no picture, no nothing. I did it for a contest to win a Jets jersey. And maybe at some point, under Luke Rosenthal's leadership, like maybe you could be my special counsel to the tribal chief, the head of the table. Like maybe under your guidance, eventually I can truly break through in the TikTok game at some point, but we'll have to investigate that as we progress.
Yeah, got to branch out. Got to branch out to the younger generation and the kids that are growing up. Those young Jets fans that need Boy Green in their life. 100%.
100%. All those guppies out there. Let's throw a couple of these in here. We got again a Joseph, member again, the Boy Green Super Fan Club. Bing, bing, bing. Very nice. That's awesome. The route tree is going to be smooth as beep. You can have Lazard or Lizard. I love that nickname if that was on purpose. And Cobb go in, run what works, and then throw in the burning spear. Love it. Go Jets area. Hammer the youthful firepower. Absolutely.
Look at that.
With our interns and everything else. So amazing. Absolutely amazing here. We'll spin this in here real quick. AC Jets, what happened to the knee? I tore my PCL. Yeah, I completely ruptured my ACL. For people who don't know, and again, they're saying that why the hell? First off, why is Boy Green on his recliner? What's going on here? Did he just give up on life? Did he just say, screw the studio that I'm staring at, that it's across the room? Yeah, I can't even sit at a computer. This leg is stiff. They're just kind of shooting out, so there's no way to sit in a chair. So that's why I'm over here, by the way. But completely blew out the ACL, ruptured it, and just had complete reconstruction surgery earlier today, and they fixed some other stuff in the knee as well. So out for a year of Taekwondo and all that crazy crap, but we're obviously still streaming a handful of hours later because you know what? That's what we do, baby. That's what we friggin' do.
Committed.
So 100%. Luke, what's the worst injury you've ever had in your life?
So I actually broke my spine in
what? Yeah. Oh, I think I remember you bringing this up.
Yeah, so I broke my spine playing football back in middle school. I had about a 9-month recovery where I had to wear a full body brace. It was hard plastic. I had to make it custom made, custom measurements and everything. It ran down like right underneath my armpits all the way down my back, and then it locked in at my leg. So just one down one of my legs. I think it was my left. But yeah, I broke my spine, my L4, L5 vertebrae. Couldn't play football after that one. So that was a little rough, and that's kind of what set me off and wanted to do football for a living at some point, or somehow. So.
Well, I will just say, way to make me look like a wuss. I'm like, I just have this knee thing. And you're like, yeah, I broke my spine in 7 different places, and I crawled to the hospital after. Like, wow, okay.
Yeah, but I didn't have to go. I didn't have to go under like you. I did not have to go under like you. So that is a testament to your strength, Boy Green, because I would not have wanted to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Glad you recovered. There you go. People are rooting for
Joseph.
Luke here in the chat, which is nice. AC Jets. Yeah, I will tell you. So I had 2 options, and then we'll get off and do some other stuff. But I had 2 options for this surgery. Okay, when you blow out your ACL, so you can take it from your own body. So what happens is, to get all nitty gritty, is they could rip off a piece of my hamstring and use the tendons to rebuild my knee. Crazy technology. Okay, so I could have done that. Apparently, by the way, I'm too old. That the benefits of that are younger. Like, you're a Luke Rosenthal, you're a little younger in your 20s. If you do that, that apparently can help accelerate the healing process and things of that nature. But if you're too old, like me, I got old bones, it doesn't matter. So the other option is getting it from a dead guy, a cadaver, and grabbing their dead body part and combining it with your body part and jamming it together and booyah. So right now, as my legs healing, I got some random dead guy in there. Don't even know who it is. Apparently confidentiality and all that stuff. So I'll never know whoever donated that. But whoever you are, prayers up to Josh or Fred or whatever your name is for giving me
They don't disclose the name or anything? Or
they don't. Yeah. Huh. There was paperwork. There was a mistake earlier because, again, I'm laying on the table before surgery.
Yeah.
And they come in and they say, if you want, you can reach out to the family, right? Because the guy is dead, but the family of the person that donated all these body parts and stuff, in this particular case for my knee, that you can kind of like write them a letter, say, like, hey, here's my story. I'm a sports talk radio host. You helped me because I had this crazy taekwondo injury. Maybe they would want to know on their side, and then they can choose whether to respond or not. Apparently, that option's no longer on the table. They just don't want any connection. It's supposed to be completely anonymous. So they don't even want me reaching out saying, hey, I'm Paul. They just want, hey, you got your body part, just enjoy it and pray to the Lords above, and that's it. So apparently that's it. So yeah, that's the crazy part. But there you are.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I see spring break in Cabo. I will say that I have a vacation planned to Bermuda, a cruise. My second cruise of my life is supposed to be coming up in August. We'll see what the leg status is. Am I getting wheeled around? What's going to be happening there?
Hope not.
Yes, yeah. We'll see, Luke. We'll see what happens.
Cross our fingers.
Well, I have to say, Luke, first off, before we get you out of here, any final nuggets, notes of Aaron Rodgers as a Packers guy? Do you have any final farewell wishes as you watch him win the Super Bowl for the Jets, see him be in a bunch of Jets primetime games, which will be announced here soon? Do you have any message, words for either Jet fans on Aaron Rodgers and what that means? And because I've heard a lot of Packers people say it's your problem now. And I don't think Jet fans understand at all what that means, because it's Aaron freaking Rodgers and we'll accept whatever that problem is.
Sure.
But any words or thoughts to all the Jet fans who are watching right now?
Well, definitely best of all of luck to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's been probably my favorite player just growing up and really my entire childhood up until this point. I will say with what you just said, the drama will come. The drama will come at some point, one way or another, whether that's a post-game interview or it's off-season on Pat McAfee. Now, obviously, his relationship is still budding with the Jets organization, so you don't want to really step on too many eggshells there. And he was kind of at the time being done with Green Bay. It was a little bit more harsh, I'd say. But he is a diva. I can't lie. But a guy of that superstar magnitude, you're gonna put up with it, because he's gonna play his best on the field, and he's gonna, realistically, in my opinion, I think he's the best player the Jets have ever had in their history. You're talking about a top 10 quarterback of all time, something that the Jets haven't had. I will say enjoy it though, because it is. I have a lot of Jets fans being, from New York. A lot of Jet fans of my friends. They're enjoying life right now, and I can't blame them, because I would be too, knowing that I got this 4-time MVP back-to-back a few seasons ago. So just enjoy it. But I will say some drama's coming. Some drama. It will not be unscathed with you.
Well, I will say I'm willing to accept whatever that is when it is. But yes, I am in this giddy world. Again, I don't know, and I've debated or asked other Jets people I know, either people that work in the building or people outside of it, like, man, when's it going to hit that Aaron Rodgers is a Jet? Like, we're seeing some of these practice videos. You see him holding the jersey at the press conference. Is it my personal thing? I believe it's going to be the primetime game when you're getting like Sunday Night Football or some Aaron Rodgers cow, and he walks on the field, like, holy friggin' crap, there he is. But again, so it's hitting us all, and I hope everyone just kind of really basks in this moment. Is he going to play 2 years? It sounds like from the talks he is going to, but even still, like, regardless, if it's even only 1 year, just embrace the heck out of it and enjoy it. It should be a lot of fun. Well, Luke, I know not all these people know, but you were an intern this semester for my sports talk radio show, my day job outside of all the Jets talk. And you were a great, man. It was a lot of fun. So give a free plug here to any of your social media portals, your budding TikTok superstardom, and any of the like, for people who are watching live or after the fact here on this live stream.
Yeah, I'd love to have you guys follow me. I'm Luke.fc on TikTok if you want to shoot me a follow, and on Twitter I'm Luke_Rosenthal. I'm usually in the comments underneath Boy Green's tweets. I was today.
Yes.
People telling me that they're the New York Packers and not the Green Bay Jets. Although I'm still going to call them the Green Bay Jets, just because I feel like it fits a little bit better. So yeah, if you guys want to shoot me a follow, I'd love to have you guys.
All right, awesome. Well, Luke, I'm sure we'll be in touch throughout this season as we're kind of get you. I'm highly interested to see what Jordan Love does with the Packers and vice versa. I'm sure Green Bay wise to what Aaron Rodgers does in New York. Absolutely. So it should be a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'll see you, Boy Green. And good luck with your.
Whoa! No,
I want to say good luck with your recovery. Hope it's a speedy one.
God bless. Thank you so much, pal. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So thank you. We'll see how that happens, but we're gonna attack it like crazy. We'll be in touch, my man. Thank you.
Godspeed.
Yeah, there he is. Luke Rosenthal joining us on the show, which was nice. I want to get back into a few Jet questions before we get out of here. It was kind of cool to get a Packers perspective on a variety of things. So let's get back in. Ragnar, glad you're back on the same day. Seems it was successful. Seems that way. We will continue to see. I've got my medical checkup in about 2 weeks, so we'll check on the leg then. We love you, BG25. Thank you, Jay Perez, and all you guys. All the wonderful, kind words I have to say have been really moving on social media. So thank you. It means a lot. And shout out to Petey for reaching out as well. Petey, that was amazing. All right, let me go back into some of these. Where I want to get to some of your questions. JD, Dark Soldier, JD tried to trade up for JJ since the 15th pick. No way he will lose reps. Yeah, that is true. In that draft, the Joe Douglas started making calls. Ultimately, he landed him at 26, so it worked out even better. But yeah, he got that action for sure. Yes, I am bionic. Thank you. Jordan Love is mid, real mid. Even Goff over Love. Oof. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot from Jordan Love to like inspire me, to be honest with you. So he doesn't really do a lot for me. Cobb will be a fifth. Again, he is replacing Jeff Smith, no one else. Some people say he's better than Braxton Berrios. That's fine, but he ain't seeing that. Kareem, I see Hardman or Cobb starting over Corey Davis. I don't. I mean, again, Corey Davis still making $11.5 million. There's a chance that there's a restructure there from the Jets' perspective. Maybe cut the contract in half. I've floated out the Jameson Crowder contract restructure: $10 million non-guaranteed, cut it in half, make $5 million guaranteed. He gets $5 million, of course, and the Jets get him at a discount. So I'd see that. Hardman could be a sneaky guy in the slot. Everyone keeps telling me, some people in the Jets building, that we're overlooking Mecole Hardman being the slot guy. So let's keep an eye out for that and see what develops. I'd say Davis is the third. I probably think he's the third because you have Garrett Wilson, obviously, Allen Lazard, and then Corey Davis. You kind of have these three, but then you have a slot guy. Now, Lazard can play in the slot. Wilson can play in the slot. Davis can play in the slot. So you kind of have a lot of different options there. But Mecole Hardman's going to get his run as well. Yeah, so the third starter, like I said, is Corey Davis, unless somehow he is not on the roster, and we will see. Miles Jack, always been a fan since UCLA, and then he slipped in that draft. I love Miles Jack. He's an athletic freak. He would be a lot of fun. Dark Soldier. I've never been in my life go to another team's live stream and talk crap. Pathetic. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm going to be honest. We've had a lot over the years, over the live streams this year. I'd have other teams coming in to talk crap. I'm fine. Whatever. Hey, man, this YouTube's for everybody. It's the internet. So I'm fine with all that. I'm fine with people jumping in from different teams. Way to suck it up, Boy Green. Thank you. Love the signings of both old men. Great locker room guys who could still contribute as well. Again, I don't think we have to go crazy and say, wow, these are superstar home run hits, but I just think they're exactly what the Jets needed. They needed run stuffing. Al Woods, check. They needed another guy in that wide receiver room, and I feel pretty good about Randall Cobb. So he's not going to be, he's not going to be, a key cog from that perspective of like, hey, man, I'm getting this many reps, but I think it'll be fine. That would be cool. So if Aaron Rodgers randomly surprised, I've got some nice guests lined up here in the near future, so I hope you guys really enjoy it. If I could get Aaron Rodgers, let me see what strings I can pull. That'd be fun. Mario, what's with Quinn and Boy Green? Yeah, so the Jets' true practices start in about 2 weeks. About May 18th, I believe, is the first actual practice date. Like right now, voluntary workouts, but the actual practice start then. In a perfect world, they'd like Quinn locked in by then. So that gives them about 2 weeks of negotiation time, and we got the big Aaron Rodgers contract figured out. So I anticipate that coming sooner rather than later. And he's getting the bag. He will be the richest player in Jets franchise history, both in total value, per year average, and all the like. So it's going to be great. Rivka here. Rivka, which I believe from the Jets X Factor action. also, as healthy as the Jets were last year, they were also one of the worst in forcing turnovers. Yeah, they were great early in the year. I remember they already like killed all those interception numbers at the beginning of the year because I think the prior year they only had 7 picks, and then they had that like in the first 2 or 3 weeks or something. But then there's this massive drop off, and so many missed opportunities. Jordan Whitehead dropped picks, DJ Reed dropped a pick, CJ Mosley dropped a pick. So many guys, and again, you need to do that. But if you think about it, to your point of playing with leads, other teams are force feeding it a little bit, so it should put you in better positions to get more of those opportunities. Ragnajet, Sports Center today put an Aaron Rodgers QBR stat when throwing only Randall Cobb, who was above 90 QBR. Again, that's the thing I also think that we can't overlook. There's just a natural chemistry there. He has to build it with Garrett Wilson. He has to build it with some of these other guys, but guys you're just familiar with and comfortable with, that's just going to help everybody. So all the people that are crapping on it, I just personally don't get. And again, he's friends with him, so that's only going to help everything, quite frankly. So, Rivka, as long as they regress to 10-12. Yeah, that's kind of my range, Rivka, to be honest. Going back to the defense, again, they go from 32nd 2 years ago to top 5 last year. And then if there's a natural regression, I'm thinking as long as you stay in that top 10 range, you're going to be in a fairly good spot. I feel very confident about that. Let's see. We need Quan back again. I'd love Quan to be back. To be honest, it'll probably be dirt cheap. He deserves a pay raise, of course. He made 1.2 mil last year, so I'd love a raise for him from that because he had his first fully healthy season since 2016. Great locker room guy, great leader, and obviously the production speaks for itself last year. So I'd love Quan. And he's just a hard thumper, too. I really love him. Hope he does. So we'll see what develops there. Edgar Silva, hit the like button for the late night video. You damn right, everybody, as we're here midnight. So hopefully we'll get back. Like I said, we will do a couple of we have a bunch of videos planned. I will get the audio and mic and stuff better. We're going to try to figure out a plan for that. So stay tuned for some of the big interviews that are coming up so we can improve the quality for you guys. Zandy says, Paul, do any of the UDFAs jazz you could make the final 53? Let's pull up. I think the Jets had a UDFA tracker, so I can kind of, yeah, here it is. I will say, before I even get into it, one of the ones I loved, and he wasn't a UDFA, he was a late round pick, but my favorite pick of the Jets draft, Jarek Bernard Converse, a 6-rounder, basically a UDFA. He's a guy I love. The versatility is spectacular. Nickel, outside corner, safety. He's talented, obviously some elite traits when you look at vertical jumps, 40-yard dash, things of that nature. He really revs my engine. He's a guy I would love a lot. I'm on the Jets official UDFA, and they announced in the article that these moves have not been confirmed by the Jets, but these are what's being reported. Let's see. So they have Deslin Alexandre, the Pittsburgh guy, so defensive lineman, wide receiver Jason Brownlee of Southern Miss, linebacker Claudin Sherilis out of Alcorn State. Trey Dean III, I've heard a lot of good things about. He's a safety out of Florida. So obviously you think about this. You think of two things. First off, if you like the player itself, that gives them a path, but also positionally getting a good opportunity. So Trey Dean, Travis Dye, USC, a good leader, a locker room leader coming out of USC. You love him. Xavier Gibson, Stephen F. Austin. You have Khalef Halasi out of Western Kentucky. He's a nice quarterback. Linebacker Malik Hall, Southeastern Oklahoma. Tight end E.J. Jenkins out of Georgia Tech. He's one that caught a lot of love. Caleb Johnson, linebacker, Miami. Brett Lang, the Minnesota Duluth offensive lineman. Derek Langford, cornerback out of Washington State. T.J. Luther out of Gardner-Webb. He's another wide receiver. Marquise Waters out of Texas Tech. So, yeah, there's a variety of names here. I'm kind of interested in the quarterback kid that got the invite to the Jets rookie minicamp, who was among the most highly touted guys coming out. He's kind of interesting. But overall, when I take a peek, I think the safeties probably have the best chance because I love Will Parks, but he has a chance to be upset potentially with like a Trey Dean III out of Florida. He's probably one. It's going to be hard for some of these running back options, although Ty Johnson's got now. So maybe a practice squad opportunity for a Travis Dye. We'll see on wide receivers, although Randall Cobb probably shuts that down, especially with contract structure. If I had to gun to my head, it's probably Trey Dean III. He's the one that revs my engine and has the path to the 53 because of safety position. But we'll have to kind of keep an eye out for that one. Great question, though. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I think I caught up to all those old questions, so I'll try to get to all of these. Jay Perez, wishing you a speedy recovery. Thank you so much. Again, that means the world. All you guys saying all these really nice things. It's awesome. We'll see. Again, I'll be out of Taekwondo. That's going to be tough. I'll be honest. One of the things I am looking forward to, though, is I was testing for my 4th degree black belt. But I'm hoping once I get a little better and I can be walking around a little bit better in a couple of weeks, that I could go back to Taekwondo and kind of give back to the community and be there to support my students and my fellow peers. So I'm hoping to do that. Hopefully that can kind of get you in the game, because I compare it to sports. Again, this will be my first opportunity with it. Like a Mekhi Becton, who's only played 48 snaps over the last 2 years. It's easy to be a ghost because when you get injured, the NFL world keeps spinning. So it's very easy for you to kind of fall like to the wayside and no one's talking and no one's getting involved. So my Taekwondo career, I used to be practicing in the dojo multiple days a week. So all of a sudden being yanked away from that, and I'm going from multiple days a week to none, obviously since this injury, which happened at the end of February. It's tough. It's tough. So I'm hoping to go back, and hopefully that can, re-engage me and revitalize me in a lot of ways. And also I hope it's a benefit for the students as well. So absolutely. Thank you for the kind words, guys. You guys have been amazing. I really appreciate that. Jay Perez, great question. What AFC East teams are you looking forward to meeting up? All of them for different reasons. I don't want to give a cop out. Number one is New England. I hate New England. I think we all hate New England. Although if you're an older Jets fan, and I've heard this, that a lot of people hate Miami more because of that old school rivalry, although that's kind of fallen off. I don't feel the same way that those Jet fans do about Miami now. I've got a lot of great relationships with a lot of people in Miami land. I hope we can get back to the good old days of the 80s and everything else, of that meaning something and mattering. But New England's number one. I hate New England 1,000%. So I really want Aaron Rodgers to go in there and destroy that team. Buffalo. Now, I think a lot of Buffalo fans had this egotistical mentality when the Jets played them in that first game, and Bills fans went in and said, we're going to freaking roll over this Jets team. They stink. And in just the back of my head, and I made the prediction, right, that they're going to upset the Bills, like be ready for it, and they did, and I got a lot of love for it. But, like, I think the Jet fans and Jets team earned a ton of respect from Buffalo by beating their ass. Josh Allen was healthy for 99% of the game. They punched him right in the mouth, and they had unspectacular quarterback play with Zach Wilson, who was just kind of efficient. He didn't light the world on fire, but he was just really rock solid. So I'm kind of looking forward to Buffalo. I think that may be our first primetime game. There's a chance. I've heard the Jets-Giants Monday Night Football. Of course, that'd be awesome. Jets-Bills could be another tasty one. Bills could get the opening game against the Chiefs, but Jets-Bills, primetime early. I'm looking forward to that one because that's a measuring stick. The Bills are the team that's been winning the division. Jets, if you go in and punch them in the mouth right off the bat, you're going to be in a great position. And obviously Miami, you got all the connections. Look at all the Jet guys that went down there. Mike White, Dan Feeney, Braxton Berrios, and George Fant had a workout with them earlier in the offseason. Like, there's just so many Jets, Dolphins guys, and even more that are going to keep coming. And you have Mike McDaniel, Robert Salas. There's a lot of sex appeal there. But number one is New England. Number two, Buffalo. Number three, Miami. Although all of them to me are interesting. So 100%. Good question, though, Jay. Chris Gardner. The Wood signing has me jazzed, as it should, by the way, because to be honest with you, he is exactly what they need. He is a new Jet, baby. 100%. He is a nice big hog molly in there. A reverse hog molly that can kind of eat up and be a space heater. I freaking love that. So that would be great. Luke Rosenthal jumping on the YouTube. Hey, Love will be the quarterback for the Jets in 15 years. So watch what you guys say. It seems like it. Obviously, it seems like that is the destiny that we will have. Kuntz. That's another really good one, Chris. The late tight end, the last pick for the Jets. He could be one. The Jets were sniffing around tight end. He has the spider track score. Like, man, the spider chart is amazing. It could be. Hyder, you're the absolute best, brother. Quick recovery. Godspeed. Thank you. I really appreciate that, guys. Kuntz is another one. I completely overlooked. Kuntz could for sure be there at tight end. Worst case, he is a practice squad guy. Beth Page, can't wait to watch his big fat ass plugging holes like Chris Jenkins. Man, Chris Jenkins, people forget about Chris Jenkins because he gets hurt, but like, man, Chris Jenkins was that dude. I thought, to be honest, when I was making comps earlier in the offseason, I thought Calais Campbell could be the Jets' version of Chris Jenkins. Campbell is a little taller, but Jenkins had a bit more meat on the bone. That would have been a phenomenal. Fletcher Cox was another one I really wanted to, but yeah, I think Al Wood's just going to be. It's not sexy. He's this big fat guy, but I think he's just going to give the Jets exactly what they need from a run defense perspective. Oh yeah, Hyder bringing up the NASCAR package, 100%. Think about all those pass rushers, guys. Okay, think about all those pass rushers in the NASCAR package. When you're doing that, cat backward, third and long, it's going to be spicy. It's going to be spicy. Ragnar Jet. Belichick with his dick move, some sweet vengeance coming. I hope they run up the score. I just can't wait. It's almost like, and again, Bills fans got it better, obviously, because they gave the Patriots a business in the playoffs, but to just destroy the New England Patriots, there's nothing better. Chris Gadna. Do you think it's possible Cobb gets beat up by the other receivers? I think his singing hurts us more than helps. Or signing, I am sure is what you mean. Yeah, let me double check if I saw correctly from again because I had surgery, so I may be wrong on this. Yeah, Jordan Schultz, $3 million guaranteed with upside of $4 million. So that's not money you dump, and that's from Jordan Schultz, the NFL insider from the Score. So with that being said, it sure sounds like contract-wise. Again, you know how I made the comment about Tim Boyle earlier. He only had 75,000 guaranteed, so you kind of eye roll with his locked contract status because that's not really true. But $3 million guaranteed, you don't guarantee that kind of money. It doesn't make the roster. But if you think about the roster, obviously, so you have Garrett Wilson, he's in. You have Mecole Hardman. You have Corey Davis. You have, you start going through these names, and it's hard. Denzel Mims is still on the team. Yeah, let's pull up the full gambit of New York wide receivers so I don't miss anybody here. This is the official New York Jets roster on the subject. So here are all the receivers, okay? And the Jets, I think, kept 5 last year. So, whoops, let me get that position back, okay? Let's go receivers. Here are the receivers we have on the roster, on the New York Jets roster. So, okay, let's go with the locks, okay? You have Garrett Wilson, obviously he's a lock. You have Alan Lazard, obviously he's a lock. You have Mecole Hardman, obviously he's a lock. You have Corey Davis, he's obviously locked until something crazy potentially happens. And you have Randall Cobb, he's a lock. So you basically have 5 locks for maybe 5 spots, maybe 6. And now, who are the other guys hanging out? Irvin Charles, the team loves him. We did a video on him a couple weeks ago. 6'4", 219-pounder. Could be a practice squad guy, probably, with how the wide receiver room is setting up. You have Denzel Mims. Is he a guy that gets traded, kind of flipped in camp if he's buzzing in the right way? Maybe. And then the rest of the guys are kind of just squad guys. Deontay Spencer, Malik Taylor, those are all just kind of squad guys. But so does he have a chance to beat him out? You can't say never say never, but I'm going to be honest. That money sure says to me that he's going to be here as, again, that backup slot guy, return versatility a little bit too. I don't think it hurts us. Now, I get it if you thought that that's what people said about OBJ, potentially taking away reps from Garrett Wilson. In the grand scheme of things, and trying not to be rude, but if you say you're trying not to be rude, you're then trying to be rude, his signing is inconsequential. And what I mean by that is, in the nicest way possible, Chris, is it's not a needle mover. Okay, let's just be honest. It's not a needle mover. He is a guy that is going to make Aaron Rodgers more comfortable. Sure, if that makes Aaron Rodgers more comfortable, awesome. He's a guy that can be, as I said, a backup slot guy, return guy, and he's going to be like wide receiver 4 or 5, maybe 6. Like, if people are going to, get their panties in a twist about that, I'm not saying you are, but I'm just speaking to the greater Cobb non-believers here. Like, I just think we're wasting our time because it's nothing to get in a fret about. Now, for some of the younger receivers, the people that pound the table for Denzel Mims, people are pounding the table for Irvin Charles, I'm sure they're not a big fan because in theory that takes away a guaranteed roster spot, which is tough. But yeah, I would be flabbergasted with the roster contract, the contract structure. It would be wild to me to believe that ultimately he's not going to be on the roster, which again, like I said, will rub some people the wrong way. Let's get to a couple final comments here. Joseph, Paul will be fine. He is the ultimate Shinobi Jet Sensei. Hope. I am a big Naruto fan. I love Naruto. So apparently I have a lot more time to watch shows. That's for sure. Chris Gadna. New England deserves every loss they get. Oh, I hope the bottom falls out. I hope they're terrible. Not too terrible, though, to get like a Caleb Williams, but like terrible enough that we're giving them the business. Hyder, Master Jet Boy Green, which, by the way, My Taekwondo is Kukiwan. So in Kukiwan, you have to be a 5th degree to be master. But in other Taekwondos, ITF and stuff like that, technically, as soon as I get to 4th, I'm a master. So I may have to change my bio. It's like a doctor. You go to school for 8 years. You want everyone to call you doctor. So TBD on all of that. Ty Rapp, Dolphins fans are the worst. Love the team. Patriots team is the worst, and their fans are just not used to sucking. That's true. Neither are Green Bay fans, for that matter. Dolphins fans, I only know a few intimately, and the ones I know are really fun. We give each other crap back and forth, so I like it. But Patriot fans are the most annoying, for sure. Chris Gardner again. Woods is a double-sized refrigerator with legs. That's a great comparison. We should put that on a T-shirt. That is awesome. Yes, he is. He is a massive fridge. Yeah, I've noticed how Jet fans pronounce it, but yes, Kuntz. Although, hey, different strokes, different folks. Jay Nasty, can't wait for Madden 24 to come out. And yeah, the Jets will be awesome. I'm a big Madden guy. For those who don't know, you can hit me up on the PS5, Boy Green 25, baby, if you like to play some Madden. I normally don't get a chance to play with Jet fans or plug that, by the way. So yes, hit me up there and we can try to play some games. That'd be fun. I am a big Madden freak. Chris Gardner. I was thinking because Mims and Charles, who they love, maybe his age starts to show. Yeah, that's possible. Again, I think he's 31, turns 32 before the start of the year. So there's a chance. But again, contract structure wise, I'd be surprised. Joe Douglas doesn't seem the type to light money on fire. Ben Ross, that is a comfy looking couch. I will a story about this couch, this little recliner. Got it for $20. I found it on one of those like Craigslist or something. I drove out to go see these people. An old couple was moving away and downsizing. They were getting rid of it, and I showed up and I went to go buy this couch, this little recliner thing. And I went, okay, I think we agreed on $40 or something, just online. And I wanted a recliner. So I go $40. They're like, this thing isn't worth $40. We're only taking $20. You know what? Give us 5. And it was like a reverse negotiation. They didn't want my money. And I said, you know what? Come in our house. Come grab some stuff. It was the wildest encounter in history. They gave me and my fiance a bottle of wine. They gave us this couch. They gave us all kinds of stuff and sent us on our way. We met this great couple. So it was actually super nice. So this couch is comfy. It keeps the leg straight, like I said, for all the people with the surgery. This is where I will be sleeping. But yes, very comfy. Well, I'll be back in time for training camp. So training camp, the official dates aren't out yet, Ben, but it's probably going to be July 17th. Now, normally training camp opens about July 24th, but because the Jets are in the Hall of Fame game, it's going to open about a week early, which is great. For Jet fans, it's more content and everything else. So this gap between mandatory minicamp in June and training camp starting is going to be shorter than ever, which is awesome. So I'm hoping to, fingers crossed, I'm hoping to be ready by then. We'll see. But like I said, we will be represented in a lot of ways for training camp with some wonderful guests. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. Fingers crossed. Jay Nasty, we're going to be on Hard Knocks. That has not been announced yet. But to be honest, last year they announced Hard Knocks for the Lions in March. We're in May. So like they've obviously dragged their feet. I think part of the reason they dragged their feet is they waited for the Aaron Rodgers thing to be official. Now, as kind of the NFL schedule release has been kind of a tentpole event for the league. I imagine Hard Knocks is going to now wait a little bit longer so they kind of get their own day in the sun. Maybe that comes after the schedule release. Maybe that comes within the next week. It's going to be one of the two, I think. And again, I think they're going to get their proper love. And yes, so are they going to be on Hard Knocks? I do believe. You can listen to my full interview with Ethan Greenberg, the Jets team reporter. We kind of dove into this in more detail, but here are the other teams. There's 4 teams eligible for Hard Knocks this year. The Washington Commanders, not interesting. The New Orleans Saints, not interesting. The Chicago Bears, remotely interesting. Number 1 pick, Justin Fields, hubbub. Like, you can squint and say maybe. And then it's the Jets. And not to be the biased Jets fan, but come on. Aaron Rodgers, New York, the playoff drought, the star players like Sauce and everybody, come on. So, yes, we will be on Hard Knocks. I would be flabbergasted if they're not. NFL teams cannot refuse. If Hard Knocks chooses you, insert team, and you have to meet all these requirements, that's why only 4 teams are eligible. If they say, Jets, we pick you, they can't say no. So I would be, again, just shocked if he's not. Bernard Nixon, do you think Rodgers should be there all of OTAs like Florio said? Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, by the way, joined the Pat McAfee show. Surprisingly, it was Pat McAfee's birthday on Tuesday, and he joined him for a surprise call. And he said he would be at more than half of them, which half of them being voluntary workouts and things of that nature. And I was here for the first full week. He thought it was very important. Should he be there for all the OTS? Would it be great? Of course it would. I'd love Aaron Rodgers there every day. But to be honest, no. I didn't see what Florio said. Again, I'm kind of behind the 8 ball with the surgery today. I got to catch up on a lot of content, but I did not see that from Florio. I saw some people said that, and they think it's ridiculous that he's not. But Aaron Rodgers is 39 years of age. He's offensive coordinator. He knows the offensive system. There's a few finer point details of things like cadence he was talking about, some different verbiage for new formations and cutting stuff up. But like, let's be real. It's Aaron Rodgers. Like, I would love him there all the time because, and that's the same thing I'm sure Robert Sala would say, but they're voluntary. He doesn't have to be. He apparently, according to Pat McAfee, has some other stuff planned. He has his own private workouts on the West Coast that he does, but he's being here. He's being present and assuming that leadership role. So again, I'm not going to really get my panties in a twist. It's a story. If it's a story, it's a story. If it's not. What I mean by that is if the Jets got off to a slow start, people are going to be like, oh, man, you weren't really there at OTAs. And if he's great, then we're like, oh, yeah, see, he didn't need practice. So, to me, it is what it is. I'm not that upset about it. Would it be cool? Of course, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Randall Cobb has no use on this roster. I understand people that are not a fan of him, but again, to me, I'm not going to get all crazy about wide receiver 5. I'm not going to lose my stuff because Randall Cobb's on the roster or not. Like, again, do I love the Irvin Charles story? Yes. Do I love the Denzel Mims stands in the audience? Of course I do. But I'm not going to lose sleep and waste time arguing about Randall Cobb. I mean, come on, people. I'm interested in how last year's class, an encore performance for a lot of them. Sauce, obviously, coming off an all-pro year, Pro Bowl year, all that stuff. So how does he respond? Because teams are going to come after him. Teams are not just going to keep ignoring him. Like, they're going to have a plan for him. I'm intrigued to see how they respond as well. And that goes for all of them. Jermaine getting some more ops. Garrett Wilson, obviously, becoming wide receiver 1 and getting Aaron Rodgers. Go to some of those mid-round picks, even Max Mitchell from the Blood Clots. Michael Clemens, I think, is going to be super exciting as well. Breece Hall, of course. There's a lot of different things to be excited about. We got to saw. So see, here's the opposite of the Randall Cobb thing. Cobb is there to bring the young receivers along, show them how to get done. Great move. Again, he is a pro's pro. He is a really widely respected NFL wide receiver in the league. And I think that's a great reason to bring him. Plus, he knows the offense. So I think that should only help. Jay Nasty, we need a better backup quarterback. I disagree. And we can argue about this, Jay Nasty. But here's the thing. If Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, excuse my French here after midnight, but the Jets are fucked, right? Like, so if he's out, no matter who your backup quarterback is, they aren't coming in and maintaining expectations. So you just got to be awesome and just assume that he's going to be healthy, and he's been healthy, and do the best of your job and position with the offensive line, everything else, to keep him healthy. But, people, again, another thing that complaining about the backup quarterback thing, I just kind of shrug my shoulders and say, whatever. Like Zach Wilson, think about this for a second. Zach Wilson was the number 2 overall pick 2 years ago. So you're telling me 2 years later he can't even be the backup? Like, he needs to be third string, and of course his confidence would be annihilated if you made him the third string. So who's the backup quarterback? Teddy Bridgewater? Is that really revving the engine? I'm fine with Zach Wilson being the backup. He's going to have an opportunity to rebuild himself out back behind the scenes. Does that guarantee he's going to be the savior? Absolutely not. But I'm fine with Zach Wilson. Super talented. Fine being the backup quarterback. I've got no issue. Gmo, Boy Green, do you think Super Bowl bust? It's absolutely Super Bowl bust. Anyone who says otherwise is naive or is unwilling to dive into the deep end of the pool. You don't get Aaron Rodgers to go to the playoffs, okay? You grab Aaron Rodgers to go to the Super Bowl, to make a chase, to push your chips in the middle of the table, to go freaking win the whole damn thing. So I 100% think it's Super Bowl bust. It's fine if Robert Sala and Joe Douglas kind of want to, pussyfoot around, but like Aaron Rodgers made it clear that Super Bowl III trophy is looking pretty lonely over there. The expectation is that he joined the Michael Kay show and simply said, hey, I hear the Super Bowl bust expectations, and I embrace that. That's what happens when you get a player like me. 100% fully embrace it. Tie Wrap, I got red. Thanks, Master Boy Green. You're welcome. Tie Wrap, son. You are very welcome. Zach would do great on the practice squad. If he was on the practice squad, he would be signed by another team and stolen off their practice squad. So he will not. There, John Hepburn. Hey, Paul, it's May 4th, my birthday. May the 4th be with you. And happy birthday, John Hepburn. Hey, fellers, my good buddy. I'll take a Jets Super Bowl win, please. And I will take it as well. And I'm going to be honest. I am buying it. I am in. I am buying it. I do believe the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl. I am a glass half full guy, but I'm super optimistic we're going to get there. Chris, thanks for taking my questions. I'm in Illinois, and I feel like being on an island growing up as a Jets fan. Yeah, for me, Chris, to share a little bit of my story, I am from a military family, so I grew up all over the East Coast. So most recently now, since 2008, I've been in New York. Oswego, New York, which is right outside of Syracuse, 45 minutes outside of Syracuse, which is about 5 or 6 hours, somewhere in that ballpark away from the Jet Stadium. And I got to go to Cortland, the Jets training camp, when I moved back up here, and the AFC Championship runs, obviously. But I've been on an island really forever. South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and all these random ass places where I'm like the only Jet fan on an island. But just embrace it, man. Hopefully there could be like a Jets bar around here or something where you can, like, I know in Tampa Bay there's a Tampa Bay Jets Facebook group fan club that all gather to watch games. So hopefully, and obviously we have the power of the internet. You're talking on the show right now to kind of get some love. So hopefully, that can kind of bridge some of the gap for you. But I feel you 100%. I had that happen throughout my fandom growing up. So I feel you there. Let's see. Just hear me out. A YouTube super chat. Thank you so much. I am not informed. Can you tell me why Green Bay quarterbacks go to the Jets? Brett and Aaron, is it just a coincidence? Obviously, it's wild to think about 15 years later, the same thing happening. There's some connective tissue. Mark Murphy, of course, was there with the Packers when we made that trade. Woody Johnson with the Jets when they made that trade. It's just circumstance. It's kind of the perfect storm. If you think back to 2008, Brett Favre says he wants to come back. The Packers say, nah, we got Rodgers, so he's going to be traded. The two teams that were in the mix were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with John Gruden at the time, and then the New York Jets. And the Packers didn't want him to go to the NFC. The Jets wanted him. They figured it all out. So Brett Favre was not, Jets were not Brett Favre's first choice. So he ends up getting there. Jets are desperate. They want the splash. Woody Johnson's there, and that kind of equates. Woody Johnson, once again, desperate. We get to this point. He called the quarterback position the missing piece this offseason. So all of that kind of just coincided. It is a coincidence, but also people were openly talking about like, wow, this is kind of crazy. This could actually happen. It is a random coincidence because obviously if Zach Wilson hit the way we thought we did, the Jets wouldn't be exploring Aaron Rodgers. So a lot of events had to happen to equate to both of these scenarios. Think about the first one, obviously, with acquiring Brett Favre in general to replace Chad Pennington, vice versa, because Chad Pennington did not deliver for the Jets. Unfortunately, I love Chad, but he did not to the Jets to make them feel great about the quarterback situation and winning a Super Bowl. With Brett Favre, you had that opportunity. Fast forward 15 years later, Zach Wilson did not deliver. So then the Jets said, well, we need to go get someone else who's the best possible guy we get, i.e. ends up being Aaron Rodgers. So it is a weird coincidence. It's not like this was a weird conspiracy theory. This was always going to happen, but it took the right circumstances. The Jets roster being better than we thought. Look at the Jets draft class last year, obviously. Sauce, Garrett Wilson. All of a sudden, whoa, we're a little bit better than we thought. I guess we got to hit the accelerate button. So it was a lot of these pieces kind of coming together there. Ragnar, our fourth quarter pass rush is going to make all the difference. I think so as well. Just hear me out. Aaron isn't a playoff winner, though. This is a thing that, again, just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Just hear me out. When people say, well, he's only won one Super Bowl. Come on. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been to plenty of NFC Championship games. I know it's a quarterback-driven league, so we want to blame Aaron Rodgers for not getting it done. And obviously he hasn't. But he's at least won one Super Bowl. He's not Dan Marino. He's not whatever quarterback you want, Jim Kelly. He's not the quarterback that was really good but never got the job done. He did get the job done. It's been a while, but that's also a motivating factor for him to get over the hump. So he has won a lot of playoff games. He's made a lot of things happen. He's won a Super Bowl. I don't know. When we start getting to the nitpicking of he only has one Super Bowl or he hasn't had a ton of playoff success, then I'm kind of look at the team. The Jets defense is the best defense he's ever had in his entire career as a Green Bay Packer. Facts. The offense, some of the pieces around him, maybe one of the better offensive weapon skill sets around him that he's ever had. That to me is incredibly exciting. So I choose to dance in those waters personally. Jay Perez, I would tell you that Zach Wilson will be fine as a 2 and watch him impress when he gets a chance, hopefully. Hopefully he doesn't get the chance, to be honest with you, but I'm going to be very much looking forward to him getting all these opportunities. Obviously, with Aaron Rodgers not being at all these OTAs and not going to be playing in the preseason, obviously, it's going to be the Zach Wilson show. So he'll have a big opportunity to show some chutzpah, which I'm excited about. Just hear me out. There's only two things that make me happy when Seahawks get eliminated: Dallas losing and previously Green Bay getting eliminated with Aaron under center. There you go. I was all AFC stuff. So when New England lost to the Ravens in that Ray Rice, Joe Flacco year, that excited me. The Jets, of course, beating the Patriots, taking them out was fun. So those kind of things for sure. David, great question. Did you ever spend time at Fort Drum? I did not. When I was going to go into the military in, this is dating myself, like 15-ish years ago, I was a sergeant in JROTC. I was supposed to go to the military. We move up because my dad retires from the Navy. So we move up here to Oswego, New York. They don't have JROTC up here. So my bonus I would have gotten, for those who don't know, for being a high level ranking officer in the JROTC would have gotten me this great bonus in the Army. But since that didn't exist, all of a sudden that kind of disappeared from the table. I said, crap, well, if I can't go to the military because of how the bonus would have set up, I guess I'm going to talk about sports. I wanted to play in the NFL. That didn't happen, obviously. So I'm like, I want to talk about sports, and that launched into the career. But no, I've not spent a lot of time at Fort Drum. I'm hoping to do so in the future. We got a Taekwondo dojang up there in Watertown. Actually, there's been a third thing now. Denver failing at everything in Seattle twist the knife. That was funny, too. Extremely insightful answer. Yeah, you bet. And no, I get what you're saying. Just hear me out that about the postseason losses. No, I get you. You look at them, the 49ers collapse. There's been some bad ones for them. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. It's fair, but I'm just saying on the overall, like people kind of with the criticism, I just kind of go like, it's better than anything we've done. So like, you can criticize and people should feel free to criticize things. I want you to push back on things. I don't just want a bunch of yes men in here saying, Paul, you're this handsome devil. Of course, I know I am, and I'm so smart and intelligent, but I want pushback, and I'm all for it. So there is a little bit, at least from how Packers fans have told me, to what you said. What's Paul doing in February 2024? Obviously commentating and celebrating a Jets Super Bowl. That would be the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I am looking forward to a playoff run. A couple more here, and then we'll wrap up. Do you think the fact we're doing something Favre couldn't win a Super Bowl in New York was a small push in him coming here? 1,000%. And I don't think I did the video for this yet, so I will catch back up this week, Chris. I had Peter Bukowski on. We just kind of made fun of him earlier. But a really great point he made is I had him back on in like January when the thought process of Aaron Rodgers coming in. And I said, man, would he not want to come in? This sounds surface level, maybe stupid. You guys can go check out that interview with Peter Bukowski, but I'm going to bring it back up because Brett Favre sent out a message on Aaron Rodgers, and I'll do a video about it. But in that, I said, man, like Aaron Rodgers, has wanted to keep a stiff arm away from Brett Favre his whole career. Why would he literally follow in his footsteps? Wouldn't he not want to play because of that? And Peter Bukowski actually said it's the opposite because Brett Favre came here and failed. Again, I thought there was a lot of high moments in that 8-3 season, but because he came here and failed, Aaron could do something he never did, come here and win. So that to me, I think is incredibly compelling and is an aggressive push to come here. I think there's a lot of other reasons, but Chris, I think actually it's a compelling reason why he did. Again, we will release another video on that. And that'll be like a quick 10-minute video to talk about what Brett Favre said about it and also why that is a factor people don't think about. So, Chris, great point. And yes, it is a motivating factor, I do believe. Anthony, I think if Zach improves himself, shows off in preseason, will justify him as QB2. I don't know if the Jets care whether that's validated to the fans, but he could do that absolutely. David D, has there been any confirmation about the schedule release date yet? I heard from a person in the NFL league circles, it's May 11th, a week from today. That's what I've heard, but I don't know if that's official. Let me double check NFL schedule release date. Let's see. I don't know if that was official, but I heard some people tell me. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about it. Oh, yeah. So here's from Adam Schefter. NFL is targeting Thursday, May 11th as the date to release the schedule. I don't know if that's official yet, but that should be the date. And of course, guys, it may be obvious. We're doing a live show, baby. That night, we're going to react to the schedule, talk about some of our favorite games, all the primetime action. So again, make sure you like the video, hit subscribe down below. We're on the chase to 5,000 subs, baby. And we will be doing a schedule release live show, which will be a lot of friggin' fun. So I hope you guys will be ready for that. I'm so excited. Jay Perez, going to bed. You're awesome. Thank you, man. I should be going to bed soon for that matter. But let me answer these real quick. Hawk, damn, still going. I had to check out when Packers fan was here. If you're Packers stream, not named Tom Grossi, then kindly GTFO of my face. Fair enough. And yes, still going. I thought we were only going to be on for an hour, but we're on for an hour and a half. It's awesome. And Nick M, you got the final question here, man. Do you think we take a swing at Taylor Lewan at offensive tackle since we have the Titans offensive line coach? Would be a good security blanket if one of our offensive tackles got hurt. When should be considered too, even if he has the injury history? Interesting on Taylor Lewan. He actually has a weird relationship with some of the Titans coaches that have come over, but it seems like they've kind of squashed the beef potentially. So that's possible, but I'm not sure, like his, what's the right word? I'm trying to think of the right way to put this. I don't know if his ego can take being a backup. He's been a starter forever, and obviously with the Jets would be no guaranteed starting position. They bring in Billy Turner, so no, I don't think that on Madden, Nick Taylor Lewan, of course that would make sense, but I don't know if the Jets are willing to do that. He would be a nice security blanket, so I see the thought process. Nick makes a lot of sense. Isaiah Wynn would be interesting too, former New England guy. He actually has some nice analytical numbers. He's hanging out there. I just saw Donovan Smith. I don't know what the contract numbers were with the Chiefs because again I came out of surgery earlier, so I'm kind of catching up on a lot of this. But that's a nice little signing there too. So we'll see. I think Billy Turner though might squash the rest of that, although you can never say never from that perspective. Whoa, mamacita! Ooh, baby! Woo-hoo-hoo. Jay Perez with the moolah drop, baby. Thank you for the YouTube super chat. That is revving the engine, baby. Here, either late on a Wednesday or early on a Thursday, depending on your perspective. Sexy. Thanks for being a trooper, man. I appreciate the conversation. Go Boy Green 25, hitting the hay. Thank you, Jay Perez, man. That means the world. When you guys support the show, it's freaking awesome. So thank you. It just it makes it all worth it. Like I didn't do this for the money or anything like that. I do it because I love doing this, but and I hope that translates and feeds into all of you. But Jay Perez, booyah. Thank you, pal. That is what I'm talking about. Absolutely. So hit the hay. I will be hitting it shortly too after doing some more Jets work. Thank you. Do you think we did enough for the offensive line? 100%. I actually love what the Jets have on the offensive line. The Billy Turner adds a little bit more offensive tackle depth, which I like. So you go through the positions. You got Mekhi Becton, Dwayne Brown. Feel pretty good about those guys. You got Max Mitchell. He's nice. You got Billy Turner now at the tackle spot. Go interior. You have the two centers now, Connor McGovern and Joe Tippmann, obviously, who you drafted. You have Laken Tomlinson, Elijah Vera Tucker. You have Wes Schweitzer, who's in there in terms of the interior as well. And if Connor McGovern's your backup, he can also play guard versatility. There just seems like now all of a sudden you're multiple deep at multiple positions. I know a lot of Jet fans want an offensive tackle in the first round, and I didn't think it was a lock, and I got a lot of clap from Jet fans throughout the offseason, but I think they're going to be really solid. I'm high on the Jets offensive line. The Jets offensive line, the Jets team is high on the offensive line, according to Zach Roseblatt, Connor Hughes, and a few others, and I am as well. I think we did more than enough on the offensive line, to be candid. Joseph, Rocksteady Paul, going under the knife on 3 months. Where do you post your air times, by the way? Good night, bro. That's a great question. There's a couple of shows that we do regularly, although we're taking a little break from our Thursday show. So those looking out for Randy Mueller, unfortunately, that show will not be happening today. But we will kind of have a mini break and come back with that. But that show's every Thursday at 3:00. We have my Buffalo show. That's every Wednesday at 9:00. Next week, it's on his channel. The week after, it's on mine. So we have some of those. General videos. I try to crank out at least a video or two every day. So if you guys are just on the channel and you're subscribed, you're going to get some consistent content. And also my Sick Pod, the Jets Pod. That's every Monday. That's on their channel. Sick Pod. It's the Sick Podcast with Boy Green. That's where I bring on fellow Jets content creators, and we kind of go ham and sometimes draft experts and things of that nature. So that's on, and we're going to try to work some more consistent live streams that you guys can kind of bookmark. Like, okay, every Wednesday at this time, or every Tuesday at this time, or what have you on this channel. So we'll look into that more in the future. Good luck with yours, by the way. But yes, we will. I will work more consistent live streams from that perspective. Joseph, it's a good point, and thank you for that. Nick M, his contract is like $9 million. Okay, that's richer than I thought. Okay, that's richer than I thought. Okay, thank you for that heads up, though. Hawk, I got nothing but vitriol for other teams, their fans. It's payback season. You're damn right it is. And Jay Perez, hit the bleeping like button, baby. That's it. 1237. Hit the fucking like button, baby. Boom, 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 boom. Whether you're watching live or after the fact, it all counts the same. And that's for sure. Chris Gardner here. We'll get the last comment. And thank you guys. You guys were great tonight. I love Adams. Watching him play here at Illinois. He's only going to get better. I heard so many things from people on Tony Adams. So the Jets, I will tell you, Chris, you probably already knew this, but I'll tell you, People freaking love Tony Adams in the building. All kinds of Jet fans are wondering, why the hell didn't the Jets address safety? They think Tony Adams is going to be a stud. That's why. So they think he's going to be great. We'll see if indeed that is the case. Guys, thank you. I can't believe we were on for this long, but it's amazing. And again, in case you missed it, blew out the leg, just had reconstructive knee surgery a couple hours ago today. But we had to hop on. I love being on with you guys. You guys make it so freaking fun. And hopefully my passion and energy is infectious to you guys. So apologize, like I said, for the computer, audio, video, all that. I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of wrap around the leg being bum and not being able to be in my studio that I'm staring over there. So we'll figure out some stuff. Hopefully it was manageable for you guys tonight. It seems like it was. We didn't have any complaints, but like the video, hit subscribe down below. We'll be back on very soon right here on the channel with a bunch of fun guests. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Good night. Enjoy. We'll see you soon. Peace.